What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of the Aggressively Average Angler podcast. We're excited to hang out with you tonight. You know why? Because we're talking about fishing for once. It's not about gear and reviews and like what kayak builds we're doing. This is like actual legitimate catching fish, hook to fish. The process we go through. That's what we want to talk about today. Especially if you guys are getting out on the water. We've been asking this question a lot. It's, have you gotten on the board yet this year? And we're getting like a 50-50 response rate. So some folks have, maybe they're down in the warmer waters down south. A lot of folks up north, maybe they're struggling. Hey, I totally get it. Some folks are on the board, some folks aren't. So what's working, what's not working for this super late winter / early spring in this very odd year? Because obviously we have an earlier spring than we're maybe used to for the last decade. It's warmed up a lot faster. We're getting some weird weather going on, but you can catch fish right now, and we want you guys to get out there. So mainly what we want to talk about tonight is lures, like what's working and what's not. We want to go into some stuff that we've been trying lately, what we're excited about. We want to talk about some things that we're going to be reviewing really soon. We got some new gear, some new rods, some new reels, new kayaks. I got a big kayak update for you guys that I'm excited to talk about. I'll probably just knock that out of the top of the show here in just a second.
Our members have already heard about this, so they are in
They
the know.
have. They're ahead.
Just so everybody knows,
24 hours.
they're a whole day ahead of you guys, and they got a bunch of behind the scenes stuff yesterday. It was good.
It's
It was
true.
good times on the members only.
We dug deep on the members only. If you guys want to know what more about that, just click join below. You can check it out if you want to. It's a great way to support the show. We love you guys for considering it. One thing I want to call out before we even get into any of that is we have a tournament in Michigan coming up real soon that we're excited about. Wow. Solar flare. I just cast a solar flare on Paul. Solar flare. So we got a tournament coming up. This is the Kayak Adventure Series. Drew Gregory is a part of it. A whole bunch of amazing brands from like Crescent Kayaks, Torpedo are involved in this thing.
Bonafide, New Canoe. There's GoPro. There's literally dozens of giant sponsors, but also big content creators in every one of the different events. They're all in different states, but they're all in like cool local areas.
Yeah, if you guys go check out Kayak Adventure Series or just follow Drew Gregory, you can see all the stuff he's posting. He's going live every week. There's an event all over the country. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them right now, and there's going to be more, and then there will be even more in 2025. We're pretty pumped about it. I will be going to that. Paul will not this year for the Whitehall event. He's going to be in California like a loser, but I will be in Whitehall hanging out with you guys. So if anybody wants to either take a road trip up or join the tournament, check it out. The Kayak Adventure Series in Whitehall, Michigan. It's June 7th and 8th. I'm going to be competing individually, and my goal is get that average bag, dog. I want the completely average bass.
Yeah, so
right
we had
the middle of the back.
We were on the show, and you know, they were making fun of us like all these good fishermen always do, little jerks. And they were like, "Oh, would you do whoever gets the middle of the pack of weights? Will you, in terms of standings, will you give them like a prize?" And I was like, "You can have a T-shirt for being aggressively super average." So I love that as a prize. It's just the best. But there's a micro bag. So you all have
the Z-Man micro bag.
You guys all have the juice for catching the micro bag, and you can go to the river. So you can go to a pond, you can go to a local spot, you can there's a bunch, and you can just pick them apart, and you can win the micro bag. It's like 17 grand or something like that for like Z-Man is like, or 13 Fishing is giving away like 15 grand worth of stuff. It's wild.
Yeah,
it is totally wild. Go check it. There is going to be a Crescent given away. I'm pretty sure a Bonafide and a New Canoe given away on a raffle. You don't have to fish. And then if anyone that came out to the tournament that we did last year, with Chad Hoover and KBF, this is going to be, it won't be quite the same because we won't be on the same team, but there's going to be way more, we'll say influencers, but like people that you might have, heard about or follow on Instagram or follow on YouTube or whatever. There's going to be a whole bunch of people out there at each one of these different events, and they're all relatively local. So if you're in Michigan, a lot of the kayak tournament trails, those guys are going to be there. It's gonna be a ton of fun. And then it's really all based around like a 2-day event. So technically you could fish 3 days, but your entry for like the standard single gets you 2 full days of fishing. And there's a really cool, I didn't even know this was a thing. if you jump in the standings from day 1 to day 2, whoever makes the biggest jump. So if you like had a crappy day 1, you actually are in like a position to win like a totally different award, and there's a whole different prize for just like catching 2 huge fish between day 2 and day 1. So there's like a whole bunch of different ways to win. It's really cool.
Yeah, we're excited about it. If you guys want to check it out, feel free to do so. And then another news noteworthy we got to call out. We had 32 giveaway winners last week. 32. And by the way, thank you to everybody who contributed and donated. We ended up raising over $2,800 for autism
Y'all are
anglers.
the best.
You guys are amazing.
Best.
So
the best.
That was phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for that. I wanted to call out a few of the giveaway winners that did not send in their address. And mind you, don't think you can like get by us here. We got a good gatekeeper with Chaz. All right. You got to send us a screenshot of your profile so you can prove that it's you. And then we're going to ship you out a prize. So one very important one, because he actually won a Metanium from Debo. Like,
casual, very casual. No big deal.
Don't miss on this, dude. So we need Josh John, Jahn, I believe it was, Rich Stout, Tyler Duncan, literally CF, C.F. Doug LeCroisiere, and Bait Chunkin. So if your name was just called like you didn't send us your Addy, we want to send you tackle. So hook us up. Give us your address, all right?
So Jeff is traveling this week. We were going to try and pack these up last week. My bad. I did not have enough time. We had a family party, so I missed a whole day. It's my bad. So we're not going to get to them this week, but we want to give everyone a chance to get all their prizes, their addresses in. So we want to do that, but we're going to pack them up next week, and we'll try and get them out. We'd like to do them all at once. We're adamant about being timely with this stuff. I respect you guys want to get your stuff. We want to get it out to you. Give us a little bit of time. Be patient. There are a ton of prize packs. And also, I will say, if you're a member, we stopped. We're doing less giveaways on this show. We're doing monster giveaways on the members only. So we gave away 2 huge boxes that are 2 or 3 times the size of those other ones. We gave 2 of those away on last night's show. And we're going to continue to basically make that the spot where we give away cool stuff. We're just trying to find a way to drive value for people that are supporting us. We want to make it worth your while. We want it to be awesome. We want it to be unique and special. And it's just another way that we're going to continue to do that.
Yes, sir. So if you heard your name today, make sure you get us your info so we can hook you up with that. All right. So I'll give one more news and noteworthy, and then we're going to do our Q of the D and get into it. So on kayak news, in the aggressively average kayak news,
Armada news,
the Armada news, the Snorlax Armada news, Snorlax Armada. Can we write it on the board? Put it on the board. We can do that, right? Like if we make Snorlax, if he has a mustache, it's fair.
I'll figure it out.
All right. Snorlax Armada news. Paul and I have both sold our Hobie 360s. The 360s are gone. They done. We told you they'd be done in that one video a while back. They gone. Right. So those are out of our lives now. Now we're looking for, okay, what's like that main go-to kayak setup that we're going to use. So instead of going the route of getting a used Hobie 180 drive, because you guys right now, just go on Facebook Marketplace. This will blow your mind. 180 drives, especially like last 5-year models, they're going for more than 360 drives with the Hobie, which maybe is not as surprising as thing. It's surprising to me, but I was looking at 2015 models priced above 360s, and I was like, bro, Hobie's got a problem. But it sounds like they're even phasing out 360s right now, so that's maybe just hearsay, but I'm just throwing it out there.
I feel so person that bought my kayak, because they got by far ever going to get on that kayak loaded out, and they got a literally brand new drive. Brand new.
Same with mine was just replaced, and they got a brand new drive shaft and clutch. Like they replaced the whole drive system on mine. So, whoever bought our kayaks, you got hooked up. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's great for you. I honestly hope it doesn't break down for you at all. Like I don't want that to happen. If it does, take it to a good dealer. I
told the person that bought this, I'm like, even if you fish a lot, you're like, no, I fish a lot, like more than most people. You've got 3 years before you need to worry about anything remotely happening if you're fishing 30 to 40 days a year.
Yep. 100%. So hopefully things go great for those folks. What we're going to be end up doing here, Paul already has 3 kayaks. I have 2, and I don't have a pedal kayak. So I pulled the trigger on a decision to be made. We don't have any kayak sponsors or partners, so I'm not getting a free kayak. What I did was I reached out to a connection we had with Bonafide Native, otherwise known as Big Adventures, and I was like, hey, if I wanted a Titan X, could you at least maybe give me a discount? And they ended up hooking it up. So I am paying the vast majority of the fee for it, but I am getting it at a discount. So we are getting a native Titan X. I am going to rig that bad boy out as far as you possibly can. I will do the XI3 kit that Native sells, and I will also, hopefully, we're almost there, put a Newport. I believe we're probably looking at like the 180, the NK 180. Put that on there as well. So we're gonna have a rigging episode, at least, maybe 2. I don't know. It's a pretty big rigging situation going on there. But Titan X coming our way. There you go. A lot of people asked for it, and I'm happy to oblige because it's a kayak that I've been excited about.
One guy lit us up for not having it and would not relent.
Comments
Wouldn't
after
let it
comments.
go. He's still climbing out of the dungeon to make a crap comment.
So I hope he's happy.
But also, Debo said in the comments, Debo's Fishing also joined us for the Autism Anglers Drive that y'all were a part of, and we were so appreciative. We're also appreciative of him and Ethan for being there and helping us just draw more people in and just have a good time, which is always fun. But he said, you got the native Titan X. That's the one I was looking at. I had just asked. I was like, wasn't Debo going to get I'm calling it a plastic craft. The Plasty Craft is what I think he should name it. I thought he already got one or was like on his way to getting one. Debo, pull the trigger. The native Titan X was built for you. It's just shy of a bass boat. You'll be so happy. Definitely get one. I will stand behind that recommendation all day. And actually, the Native Slayer, if you wanted to save like $2,000, you can go and get the Native Slayer X, and it's very close to the same build, unless you want to put more electronics on it. Then it's just you have to drill more holes versus there's like plates for this one, and there's a place for a battery. Other than those 2 things, basically the same build. So if you want to save a couple grand, you can go do that. Highly recommend the boat, and you're going to see Jeff's here shortly. But that thing's legit. It's one of the top options right now as far as big pedal kayaks.
Yeah, we're going to build the crap out of it and beat the tar out of it. So you guys will see how that goes. You'll see our initial thoughts review, and then you'll see our after a season review. And if it treats me better than my 360 did, then it's going to go a long way. 10 out of 10 stars. All right. So with that said, let's get into the Q of the D, because I think we're done with news and noteworthy. So I threw this one on our list from Alabama. We're still rocking like a whole. We had so many from Alabama.
We need to go on another 24-hour drive so that we can come up with a bunch.
So for the whole next year. So Q of the D today. What is the worst thing that you could see when you roll up into that motel on a fishing trip? So you're staying at a place. You're going to a brand new lake, new body of water, new location, right? You're hanging with your boys. You guys roll up on that motel. You drive into the parking lot. First thing
bathroom out of order. Yeah, I mean, that's
a sign on the outside that says bathroom out of order.
All the bathrooms are dead. When I see that, no, you know what it is, honestly?
Yeah.
So there's
caution
tape. There's 3 kinds of continental breakfast that you're going to run into. Okay. There's ultra premium, like a good hotel, like when the business is paying for it and you have to pay up. There's that one, and that one has it better than what you get at a restaurant, right? Like that. There's that. So we get that twice a year, right? On a business trip. If the company's not paying for it, I'm not getting it.
Like there's a dude making omelets.
There's a man hacking up meats and frying them for you.
Prime rib.
So let's get rid of that right there. So let's talk about free included continental breakfast. If you didn't pay at least $150 a night, you probably got the lower version. Okay, the lower version has also 2 tiers inside of it. There's the crap version, which is like they have the waffle, the serve yourself waffle machine. They have bananas. They always have bananas. They're going to have 3 different types of Kellogg's cereal in a dispenser. They're going to have the juice machine with apple, orange, the water tab, and lemonade, right? You're going to have that.
They got the toaster conveyor belt, right?
That's right.
The toaster conveyor.
That's exactly right. And then they're going to have moderate eggs with moderate bacon and or sausage. That's like solid continental breakfast. There's the lower tier though. You won't get the waffle. The cereal will be stale and empty. It'll be Raisin Bran is what you'll get in there, or in Cheerios. You will get hard-boiled eggs prepackaged
Yeah. That's
inside the refrigerator with no milk, right? And then all of the bread will be like a crusty mess. And then the
Yep.
juice, they won't have the juice. They'll have a pitcher of water with like that's it. When I see that setup, I know it's not going to be good. The coffee's going to suck. I'm going to get no sustenance.
Mm,
I'm going to be crapping my pants by 11:30. It's just
100%.
not going to be good. So when I see the lowest of the low continental breakfast, I'm like, son of a
You're done. I like the parking lot full of bass boats because then you're
for
like,
sure.
okay, we're fishing this lake and it's gonna get destroyed. Like we have
Oh,
no shot.
Ted, any middle school bus in the parking lot is so true. Kids suck.
Oh,
This is factual.
if there's a basketball tournament with like
Oh,
40 teams, I've had that, dude. I had that at Great Wolf Lodge. I took
that
my
makes
kids to Great
sense.
Wolf Lodge. It
Actually,
does, and it's terrible because Great Wolf Lodge doesn't like prorate you.
no.
They're like,
When you go,
cool,
no,
you're
all the
paying
jerks
full
are here.
price, and there's 4 billion children here running around at midnight.
When you go to the zoo and you see 9 buses, you're like, I drove an hour and a half for this.
I had that at Universal Orlando when I took the
There's gonna
kids
be
on President's Day.
diapers everywhere.
Terrible. Also, I liked hourly rates. Don't stay there.
When the bed spins,
Yeah, the Austin Powers bed.
you gotta put a nickel in.
All right, look. So to me, it's all of that is great, and then
None
also
of
if
it's
you
great.
well, no, it's not great, but they're great answers. But like you roll into the parking lot and there's that car that has no wheels that like somebody's changing the oil on it. Like it has
Oh,
no
God.
wheels. It's like jacked up. It's on blocks and some guy's like working on it and has been
Yeah.
for a short time, like
Yeah.
3 months to a year.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, or like other words,
Not a
permanent
good
resident.
sign.
No, it's
I also
not.
think whenever there's you know how sometimes they have like the brochures that businesses they're like, "Oh, come
Yeah.
do this thing. Pirates Go right down the road." When
Yep.
they're all taped on the window when you walk in and those are the advertisements,
Oh
so you
yeah.
can't even see inside of the office and it's just those but they're from like 1940. That's
Yep.
not going to be a hotel that you're going to be pumped to stay in. You're not going to sleep well.
You're not gonna have a good time. Or what we talked about on our members only, bulletproof glass and bars on the windows.
Yeah,
Not
also,
yeah,
but
that's what I had.
security is their top priority.
Yeah, not to keep me safe
I mean, no,
at
not
all.
me. No, no, God, out on the log.
All right, so let's get into some fishing stuff.
Right.
We got a trip that we took this weekend. We caught some fish, a decent amount on what we expected to catch on. Not everything we wanted to try got, landed a fish, but a lot of stuff we knew would land fish
Mm,
did. And that's mainly what we want to talk about today. And then I took an extra little bank fishing adventure after
ugh.
that. You guys maybe saw that on Instagram. So that's my first big catch of the year, which was awesome. So let's talk about some of these baits, things that you guys should be throwing right meow. And if you're not throwing them right meow, you need to really be thinking about it. Maybe change up that day box a little bit. All right. So I think the first one speaks for itself, right, Paul? Like this is the no brainer. One, works all year round. Two, it absolutely crushes right now. So if you're not comfortable with this, get comfortable with it. It's a jerk bait. Like hands down, you got to have a few different sizes and a few different colors of these things. You don't have to have 100 jerk baits. You can have 4, right? And you can go the distance, the absolute
You need
distance.
okay, yeah. If I were
Go for
gonna
it.
well, what do I bring for my jerkbait selection? I have a light and a dark in the 110 size, like the standard larger,
Hmm.
size,
Yeah.
110 millimeter. I have the same combo, but sometimes 3 of the 1 regular size 2 treble and then 2 mini,
Mini
like
boys.
almost
Yep.
BFS size,
Yep.
3-inch versions. Um, and then I still have one that I use when I think things are super, super hyper slow. It's that custom painted crappie one we got like 3 years ago. I still break that thing out because it's like a 130 millimeter and it's got a crappie paint job and I feel like it just sticks out like a sore thumb. It's all
Yep.
that's like what I usually have. Now the only other thing is almost all of mine are going to be suspending. 1 or 2
This
sinking.
time of year, 100%. Yes. Because you can go floating is great in the summer. Like temps warm up, you get more active fish. You can throw those floating.
Well, you need to get off grass and
Yeah. I still throw suspending, like 4 to 6 foot divers. But like suspending is just the go-to option. But I do love having the 3 treble, like the 110-ish size. So different brands, different lengths. But you got like the Berkley Stunna length, you got the Provoke.
Everyone's standard now.
Megabass Vision, right? So you got like that 100 to 110 size, and then you go sub 100 millimeter. We're talking about size, and you get to those more compact jerk baits. And having a downsize and an upsize option this time of year, because you don't know really what they're like reacting to, is a great way to go. We threw, well, I don't know how many you threw. I threw probably 5 different jerk baits on, when did we fish? Saturday. Threw about 5 different ones, and they ranged from the Megabass X80 Junior. I keep having a tough time saying the name of that one, but it's a little bitty guy. I was throwing it on BFS. Caught a ton on that. You did too, because you had like an all white one, and then I had one from our boy DeBurly. You had the pearl. DeBurly gave me one when we were down in Alabama that was like, it's green chartreuse, red, and silver. It's like crazy colors. I love it though. I've caught a ton on that, and the big that I caught the following day on Sunday was on that one. But I also fished the Provoke, the silent deep that they have is like a 4 to 7 foot from 6 cents. Caught on that. Berkley Stunna caught on that, and then the new Rogue Pro that we got from a huge unboxing you guys haven't even seen yet,
which I'm actually a big fan of. I actually really liked it. It was like fun I felt like I was cheating on new stuff. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I was like, oh, all you guys with your,
I'm gonna throw this old guy.
No. So it's basically an older style, like profile.
The Smithwick Rogue Pro. Yeah.
But the paint jobs are all like the newest of the new. They got like the best paint jobs. And so I personally was like, this is dope. And I did. That was the first jerkbait fish I caught. And then I swapped. And I couldn't believe how well that TFO handled that little itty bitty jerkbait, because I was throwing that on the medium light, and butter, just freaking butter.
Yeah. And that said, on the gear note, I got to test out my new jerkbait setup, which is pretty great. I mean, we tested out a bunch of reels and rods that we've acquired over the last couple of months that we have mostly bought, other than TFO. Like we ended up buying most of these things ourselves. So we reserve our right to our opinion, spaceman. But I put together the Arc Gravity G5, the G5, we're going to call it, and the Megabass Levante. And that ended up, I got the flat side special edition. It's a 7 foot, they call it a regular action. It's essentially a moderate action.
But sweet.
That combo, like you said, it's buttery. It is amazing. I was really impressed with that. It took me a second to get it dialed in. A lot of people said that the arc reels were really tough to get dialed in, and I hard disagree. They're actually really easy to dial in. You got to get that internal component dialed. I switched it to a 2 right off the bat. Just go to the middle. Like that's new reel. Just go right to the middle setting and then dial it back or forward based on how it feels, right? So I figured that out pretty quick, and I was really happy with it. That's like my new favorite combo. I just posted about it.
And it looks friggin' amazing.
It's the juice. It's absolutely. Somebody did point out when we posted a short about it on YouTube about the Megabass Levante, the almost affordable Megabass rod. We like it a lot. It is $200 for a Megabass rod. That's ultra cheap, essentially. And for the world of actual rods, it's not. It's like middle of the road, right?
Medium high, yeah.
Medium, yeah. I don't even think we can call it medium high. It's kind of medium low now.
Is like, to me, high.
Yeah, there's tons of $300 rods that people are grabbing now, but whatever. So $200, $199, right? Somebody pointed out that Tatula has like a lot of the similar components for $100, and I'm like, all right, well, I kind of want that rod.
Same with the SLX, and I've been saying that about the Tatulas for a long time, and they're not 100. Some of them are. They MSRP. Like
the one he pointed out was like a medium heavy or something like that. It was $100, but yeah. So 100 to 150.
They're usually sub 200, 150, 175 for the Tatula. Now that might be the elite. Now that I think about it. So, but the SLX rods, $100. I can't believe that. It's hard to believe they get away with that. I mean, the SLX combo, now that I look at it, is probably
XT. That's the one it was. It was the XT.
Yeah. So thank
you, Jared.
Thank you very much. That SLX combo of like an SLX baitcaster and an SLX baitcasting rod.
It's absurd. $200. You got an amazing combo.
What?
Those SLX rods are insane.
That SLX rod is really nice. It honestly, TFO, in my opinion, top to bottom, best value.
Huge value.
But
Yeah.
bro, that SLX rod for what it is, it's like Jesus.
So for those of you guys don't know, we talked about this on the members only live. Paul, here's the 4 rods that we bought recently. We're
Based
like,
on your guys' input.
yeah, we slapped the cash down to make this thing happen, right? So we bought all these, but we got a Phoenix M1 swim bait rod because everybody was calling out Phoenix and we wanted to give it a shot. The M1 swim bait is freaking gorgeous. It's like
Gorgeous.
one of the sexiest
Weighs
swim bait
nothing.
rods.
Feels like lighter than most bait casters. It's sick.
It's so absurd. So we picked that up. Paul also got a flipping stick in the SLX-A. So we're gonna we didn't fish that this weekend. It wasn't really like flipping time for us, but we will get to fish that and we will put it to the test.
Yep.
I pick up the Megabass Levante. I got the flat side special, so it's like my jerk bait, crankbait setup. And then I also picked up oh no, what was the no, I'm blanking. What was the other one that I got? The what?
Was it Arc?
Thank you. Because I haven't really used it yet. I didn't take it out because I got a flipping stick too. So we didn't use these, but I got the Arc Invoker, which is like their $150. And they just dropped another $150 rod that just came out. But at any rate, we'll test those out later on in the year. But we're pretty
Thank you
excited.
for all of your input. We were struggling which direction to go. We had
There's
our
too
thoughts.
many to get.
We thought about Leviathan, Brown
Yep.
Baco, but we had to go. We went almost strictly on boats, guys, and it was actually tough.
It's true.
Yeah, anyways, we took your input. We literally went on what you said you wanted to see, and we picked what we thought we had gaps in. So
we did what we could, and we went technique specific. So our goal is to make a technique specific combo video rather than doing just like a rod and reel arsenal. Here's like a whole bunch of rods we've accrued, right? We want to do, okay, what are like the technique specific ones? So this is my crankbait setup, jerk baits, tail spins, chatter baits, whatever, like those specific type things. We're going to throw that out. Spy bait setup, for example, because there are specific rods that you want for those techniques and real combos that work really well with it. So we want to talk to that. That video will drop a little bit later. Obviously, I'm going on a little trip here. I'm actually going to Mexico tomorrow. Like tomorrow, super early. I'm on my way to Mexico. I will do a little deep sea fishing. I will take my GoPro and get a little salt on it, a little salty fresh air on it. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm pretty excited for it. And I'll be back on Monday. So, next week we got all sorts of other content we'll start putting together. So jerkbait, talked about that. I think it's a big obvious one. If you guys aren't throwing jerkbaits, do it. Stat. We called out a whole bunch of different options for that. The next one was like the next fish catcherness thing of the day when we went out on this weekend, drop shot. And this is the one that I feel a lot of people dog on the drop shot. Like they're just stop dogging on drop shot. I get it. Like it's finessey. If you want to catch fish this time of year, hands down, one of the easiest things you can do is just throw a 2-inch plastic to a 3-inch plastic on a little tiny drop shot hook and just bomb it out there on an 1/8 ounce or lighter weight. You're going to catch some fish.
I'm always surprised when people are like, I've never caught a fish on a drop shot. I'm always like, huh? But I'm sure that's what people say when I would be like, well, I've never caught a fish on flipping the pads or whatever. They'd be like, out of your mind? That's the only way. That bass fishing dude, I told him, I was like, flipping, I suck at it. Never do it. He's like, that's how I catch all my fish. What are you talking about?
It's down south. I mean, like,
well, I get it, but like, it's funny that like someone would say the same thing about a drop shot. And I'm like, well, what? You catch
Texas rigging in Texas, drop shotting in Michigan.
It's what I'm saying. It's just funny though to run into something. That because like in my mind, impossible to miss. They're like impossible to hit. It'd be so weird to be in that person's head. It'd be like putting myself in Brown Baco's head, where he's like, I would never, on God, on my mother, never do that. Never.
And I know he wouldn't. I know he believes that to his core. Yeah. If you want to just straight up get on the board right now, like my recommendation, throw a drop shot. You'll
fun, man. I
caught some move on to other things you want to fish.
I caught some nice fish and just it was instant. It was so drop shotty because I was like, I bet there's fish over there under that stupid bench. There's always one sitting there.
And there always was.
Cast, fish. Second cast, fish. It was awesome. Well, and that was on the panorama, you guys. I tried the 2.5-inch panorama.
Yeah. Everybody said
flat. They all said it sucked. I rigged it flat.
Yep.
And then nose hooked it. And it was very durable, but I did rip one out of 3 or 4 fish. And but otherwise, like the shine was great. I had like a really natural white threadfin shad looking deal with some
It's
shine
a
on it.
great color.
It
Yeah.
was fine. Like, honestly, great. Nope. Reviews very good. Good drop shot bait. And so far, right?
For drop shotting. Yeah. Negative reviews were wrong, is what I'll call out for that. Doug Roberts in the house. What's up, Doug? So Doug is with Fish and FX, and we're gonna be hanging out with Doug at ICAST. I want to give a quick shout out to Doug.
Gotta
He's getting
do
us
it.
badges. He's getting us badges to ICAST, baby. So
We appreciate you
uh,
very much.
we're gonna do like a fun interview with him. We're gonna hang out with Fish and FX. He's got a new rod drop in, all sorts of cool stuff. But he calls out the wacky slow descent. Saw a ton of guys tournament season right now. You know, in the tournaments throwing wackies, weightless, just letting it slow fall, hopping it on the bottom. Obviously, another great option. Up north, drop shot's just the money. We did also get to test out another cool drop shot bait, which was the Great Lakes Finesse drop minnow, and that thing is phenomenal. You guys, I caught, I want to say on that one singular plastic, 7 fish, and did not break, did not fall off the hook, stayed in place, didn't slide down the hook at all. These are durable plastics. It's our first time really using them now. We're getting into it. I can't wait to like use the craw and all that other stuff. But the
I think
drop
they're a
minnow so far,
shocking value.
so good. Yeah.
Even though they're expensive,
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. Sly Fox, I'm not. You sent stickers? I don't know. Message me on Instagram. I did not get any stickers, but maybe you can let me know when you sent them, and we can figure that out. I'm stoked to find out what stickers you sent though. I love it. All right, so drop shot. We'll move on because the folks, not everybody loves the drop shot. All right, we'll move on. Next up is the Ned rig. Even more people love the Ned rig. This is, it's another great option this time of year though. Like if you just again, the talk right now is like get on the board and have a chance at catching big fish because these fish, they're starting to move as your water temps go up. They're going to move. They're going to spread out a little bit more until the waters warm up enough that they stack up. But like they're moving a little bit. They're eating. They're foraging, if you will, and flipping cover right now. You see wood pitch to wood, as Debo would say. You find this cover, those drop offs, the weed lines, all of that. If you got rocky areas, a little football headed Ned is phenomenal. It's a great option. Go hit the river, catch some smallies. Ned rig is the juice. Just period. The end. Is one of the, it's funny because it's one of those things where like old school guys would rip apart like their broken down Senkos and like stick baits. They just throw it on a jig, right? And then a lot of people saw Z-Man come out with it. They're like, it's a fat. Like that's not gonna last. And it certainly did. And it's still crushing to this day. And I'm most excited Ned rig wise this year to test out the Great Lakes Finesse craw. Because that little chunky craw is so juicy looking.
chunky.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to go flip that thing around. It's gonna be amazing.
Rob Harrison just registered for Whitehall, so hell yes, man, love it so much.
Cheers.
Excited for you and Jeff to get to hang out, and for me not to. I'm
Yeah,
very upset,
we'll hang
guys.
out and
I'm
we'll make fun of
salty.
Paul.
I'm very salty. It's a 10-day trip. This is like literally day 5.5. It could like right in the middle.
Yep.
Whatever. Anyways,
We'll get you next time, dog.
yeah, God, sucks. The good for you. I think the Ned rig gets a bad rap because I think we're just fortunate to have a lot of rocky areas. One thing I would encourage, if you say you don't like the Ned rig, then tell me you don't like a jig because it's just a finesse jig. I mean, honestly, the best Ned rig right now is what I caught my last almost 5-pound smallmouth on, which is a jig, a football jig, with a very light skirt, a finesse jig, and a Ned bait on it. That's the new
Beast Coast.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just any.
No, that's what you use though. Was it the
That is
OW
what, yeah,
sniper?
absolutely. The baby dozer. And
Okay.
but that is going to be, or the OW sniper is probably the best. But it's just that is the new Ned rig for a lot of people, and that is the introduction to the Ned rig. Because it's bottom contact. It's something people understand. They just should think of it more like a skirtless jig, naked jig.
Yep. 100%. Alley Cat, I'm with you. Hover strolling like to the core.
Hold on though.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
The core like JDM hover strolling, it is expensive. 100%. Paul, proceed with your solution.
So you can cheat with this one a lot. Anything from like even a baby tube, but like really any straight, even a fluke you can do this with. I recommend going and grabbing a Z-Man plastic and try if you can get some little nail weights to try and weigh it down. But even like a semi buoyant, anything straight tail you can do this with. The most important thing you need to do is just you find the right hook. So you either need to find that exact J hook or go get the Core Tackle hover rig in the lightest weight that they have and use a Z-Man plastic, and it'll kind of do it for you. Like
Yeah,
that's what I would recommend, because hover strolling is basically just suspending some form of a weightless plastic far enough away for you where you can kind of see it, and you're just going to twitch it, and you're not even going to bring it towards you. You're just going to twitch
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So you can get away with it. I did rig up the Great Lakes Finesse drop minnow, which is not an elastic plastic,
Oh.
on the Core Tackle 132nd ounce hover rig. And I used it and it's phenomenal. I love it. I still got it rigged up on one of my ultralight setups.
You could
The
also
ultralight BFS
you could also go get a Glimmer 7, and that is a hard bait that will work
version
just
of,
like one of these.
Mhm.
And you're much less likely to lose it. It's a little more expensive, but you're less likely to use it because you're gonna have solid line on it, and it's not just gonna snap off because it's a treble bait. So there's an opportunity for you too if you wanted to just at least get into it without the $11 price tag.
100%. Also, I like this. Landon calls out Berkeley Nessies. We haven't tried the Nessie yet. When we went to buy it over the winter, it was out of stock. Eventually, we'll get it, probably the smaller size, just to see how that goes. Funny thing about baits that came out that we tried that didn't work out great for me, we had the hangover. We had two hangovers, I should say. We still have one, but we lost one on a cast.
We?
What? Yeah, we're a team, so it's partially your
Oh,
fault. You should have
okay.
checked. You should check my connection knot.
Ipso facto. Yeah, I'm checking all your. Okay. All right.
I
After
rigged
hearing
out.
your process last time, I will not be doing that. Okay, they're all
Yeah,
wrong. I promise.
no, they're all right now. But I rigged out all of my combos and I tied connection knots on everything, and I had the hangover. And for the first 5, 6, 7 casts, like I was able to like flip it out there, test it out. Mine didn't roll or blow out like a lot of folks were talking about. Now, I'm not saying all of them don't. There could be a little quality control issue going on. I believe it when, Six Sense is mass producing at the point that they are. But for me, it didn't have an issue. And I was throwing it on a low gear ratio reel. It was a Komodo SS, the 300 size. So upsized bait caster. That is a 6'3". I think it's a 6'4" to 1,
The
6'3" to
slow one
1.
is like 6'4", I think.
It's a slow one. So even if I cranked it in, I wasn't really seeing that issue. That said, then, 5, 6, 7 casts later, I bombed it and we said bye-bye to that hangover. So $20 down the drain. That part sucked, but we still had a fun day. That was early in the day too. And then we still had a blast. We still had a good time.
I
So
told
whatever.
Jeff Palomar not, but
No, it wasn't about that. It was about the connection knot, the braid to mono.
what are we talking? What?
Uh,
Because you used the Alberto and you
I use the
try to tie the
Alberto.
braid around the leader. Yeah.
So there's a trick with the Alberto knot. If you guys don't know this, Debo's done videos on it, so I don't have to really point it out. Go look at Debo's videos. The Alberto knot is a great connection knot for leader lines. It is great. It's fast to tie. It's easy to tie. It's also easy to mess up. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you use the right loop from the right line, right? So you want the braid to be able to bite into your leader line versus the other way around. And I did it the other way around because I was tying them all up late and I had to cut a bunch of them off and fix them all. But I missed my swim bait setup, which is the worst one to miss because it's the most expensive baits that I have. So highly recommend check your knots before you do stuff like that. That was bad.
That hurts, man. At
Starting the
least
year off
I
hot.
gotta give it. I have to give it to Jeff though. That's a situation where your day might start going sour, right? You got the rest of
It
the day ahead of
could.
you. You're paddling instead of pedaling.
Yeah.
It could have been the top of a very long slide. It wasn't. He was mentally resilient. He
Thanks, bro.
did it all with a smile on his face. So I commend him for that because it's not easy.
It is not. We had no electronics this day. I didn't even mention that at the beginning. So we went Sans Electronics. We're in the new old towns that have never touched the water. So you were in the 106 pedal. I was in the Big Water 132, which is a paddle kayak. And we still made our way around my little lake that I live on here. And we caught a ton of fish. It was a blast. It was a good time. All right. Rolling on with some baits. I want to speed through a few of these that you guys need to just have in the tack box. And just so you guys know, we did a video on baits that you should be throwing right now. So that'll be dropping soon-ish, maybe next Friday. We did that on the water for that day. So it's kind of like early spring tackle box. So Finesse Jigs is next. And you threw a few of the, I think you threw the Beast Coast little hustler. Is that right? A little hustler jig?
Hybrid.
You threw the hybrid. Yeah.
Hybrid finesse.
And that has like a little like fly tying material in it, right? A little
Yes, it's
fur.
got 2 different kinds of tail feather.
Yeah. So little finessey jigs, great this time of year. There's a Beast Coast Hustler, hybrid jig, but any of those just like compact size. You can also get compact ball head jigs, light skirt on them. Throw on a little tiny chunk craw on those, not a big profile, big presentation necessarily, and just flipping that thing around cover. I mean, did you catch on that? I mean, we didn't spend as much time on
I
those
didn't at
baits
all,
as
no. It
other
looked
things,
great.
but
It just
it looked
wasn't
great.
they weren't there.
I would have ate it.
No, I woulda ate it. Yeah.
They were pretty spread out on my lake because we were catching them. We caught them shallow. We also caught them deep. Like they're just
Yeah.
all over the place. Not as predictable as usual, especially without having sonar,
Yeah,
not being
I
able to
totally
like
agree.
see them. But the
And
fact
they
that we,
weren't where I thought they'd be a
yeah,
couple of times. I was
yeah,
like, "Huh, weird."
oh yeah, you spent time on that one bank where
The
it's like a
2 deep
super
pockets, I
steep.
was like, "Man, there's gotta be one
Mhm.
over there."
And they
Oh,
were not.
they were not.
So finesse jigs along with Neds, I kind of like lump them together. Those are great options together. And then the big old swim bait. So you guys thought we were all going finesse. No. We threw big swim baits. I threw the hangover till I threw it away. And then I also threw a glide just for a little bit, but I really would rather have sonar when I'm throwing those things. I can mess around with it.
You
It
mean
kind of just
live. You mean forward
I really
facing.
do mean forward-facing sonar for the haters in the back. But yeah, so big old swim baits, another great option. I'm going to be throwing them as much as I can this year. I won't have sonar until I get the Titan X. It is what it is. So I will be throwing them. I'm not going to miss my opportunity. I'm just going to be fishing a little blind for a while, but I'll catch on it. I think I have faith in that. But throwing a big old glide right now is such a great option. I saw somebody saying they live in Michigan, they're going out after pike. Like they will smash a glide or a mag draft right now. You throw that 8-inch mag draft, you're gonna catch. Like you will get a nice pike. We had a time also in the fall. This is the same. Last fall, I had a day on the 8-inch mag draft. It was awesome. So highly recommended. Throw those out there or crawl those like slow. I mean, Brown Baco's in here. He'll talk about it. Throw those Huddlestons right now. Those like big wedge tails, those slow rolling the Baca burrito swim baits. Those are great right now. Like just crawl them on the bottom. These fish are lethargic. Water temps are cold, man. They're not moving as much, but they are there and they will react and they will strike. So give the big old swim bait a shot. DeBurley always gets on me if I'm not throwing him. He's like, yo, just crawl that nacho burrito on the bottom. You're going to have a good time. And I'm like, all right, man. All right. That or the Huddleston. Great option. And I have not caught on that Huddleston, the 38 deluxe weedless that we both have. I want to. That's like one of those baits in my swim bait bag that I'm like, why haven't I caught on this
So
thing yet?
badly, yeah.
I gotta give it more time. I gotta give it the effort and the energy. And I'm sure Brown Baco is gonna throw me like 37 ideas right now in chat. Love that guy. So big old swim baits, great option. Next thing I'd throw is actually really I should say one of the first things I throw because it's such a great search bait, tailspins. Guys, if you haven't been throwing tailspins, you gotta do it. These
It's a
metal
sleeper.
baits,
It's still a sleeper.
it is how many times you see somebody be like, yeah, tailspins,
Never.
go with the tailspin. Freaking
We are
never.
I honestly, I think we are the only channel where I've seen someone say that.
What's with the tailspin hate, you guys? Tailspins are highly effective. It's a chance for you to like burn a bait this time of year in cold water and catch fish. And you can catch bigs on these things. So when we say a tailspin, we mean a little metal body bait with a singular treble hanging off of it. And then off the rear end of that, you're going to have like a willow blade or a Colorado blade typically. It might be a smooth blade or a hammered blade, but it just works. It's just a great option. And if you don't have any, there are a lot of brands that are not expensive. Savage Gear makes a super affordable one. Fish Lab, that's that one right there. The BioShad. That one I've caught endless amounts of fish on. I love that one.
Paint jobs are so good on these. The holographic is like,
Yeah.
I usually hate it. This is perfect. And they
Yeah.
have gold, silver, purple, and then silver and gold blades for both. This thing
Yeah,
is this thing is one of their best baits.
there's a ton of color combos out there. Don't worry about it too much. Just get something that's like a natural-ish forage for your
Yep.
area.
Whitish.
When in doubt, get a dark one and a light one. And when in doubt, get a silver blade and a gold blade, and you're gonna be fine. Willow blades are great for burning. Colorado blades, even though it's a metal bait, a Colorado bladed one in a lighter weight, you can run them super slow. So I have a couple Molex ones with a Colorado blade off the back of them, and at like I think 3/8 of an ounce, one of them is like you can just slow roll that sucker and stay in the strike zone for a long time. Very effective. And if you got big area to cover, just like fan casting that thing, you're gonna find a fish.
It's such a sleeper. You can't like you think you're fishing it wrong and you realize it's perfect. It's like Texas rig on steroids. Like it's the fastest version of that. It's wild.
Yeah.
And it works way too good. All right.
You want control with that though. So I would recommend a high speed reel. So if you have like an 8 1-to-1 kind of gear ratio reel, you're gonna have a good time.
Yep.
This next one you got to try out, and this is another core tackle call out, but the Tush Swimbait hook.
I did
with a paddle tail.
I loved it. It was great. It actually handled the plastic way better than I thought it would. Like that's very the Strike King Rage Tail, like whatever. It's just a very raised swimmer, very average plastic, held up really good. And I friggin' loved, and I mean loved the way it looked. And it was rolling so much because I think because the hook, the time point's like right here.
Yeah.
I think because kind of jerking it from the middle, it like forces it to roll. It looked so good. It was great.
But you were able to run it so slow, and that was like so it was a crucial thing. Like the colder those water temps, the slower you want to be able to move that bait. That's why suspending jerk baits are great. That's why slow sinking swim baits are great. That's why a slow rolling bait like a Colorado tailspin or the Tush swim bait with a paddle tail on there, running that slow, like you're going to get fish. Be in that strike zone as long as you can. Dan, that's a great question. Tailspin, underspin. We caught on both recently. So the tailspin is great. It's all metal body bait. The underspin is great because you can change out the plastics to your heart's content. And we got to try another new bait. So going back to Great Lakes Finesse, because we just stocked up on them. You guys will see the video soon on the unboxing. But we got the sneaky underspin, and Paul caught on it. I fished it a little bit. I didn't give it like as much time as was necessary for it. But you caught on it like 2 fish, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's such a tiny little package, and I don't know why it's so much different than everything else, but I don't have anything else like it. It's so small. And dude, I can already tell like Great Lakes is going to be one of those companies. They're just going to be my favorite. I'm going to have to always have it.
Makes sense for us.
It's going to be right, especially the cottage, man. I'm going to be one of those guys holding one of those 4.5-pound smallmouth for a picture, on their site. Like it's going down.
Guaranteed. It's going down because we're gonna go slam those on Lake Sinclair. Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. I love it. I saw Maria had a question in here, the core tackle stuff. The Ozark rig, not yet. It's just not like that time for us, but we're going to try it, especially because it got 50-50 love hate when we posted videos about it. A lot of folks were like, oh, look, a way to destroy your plastic before you even fish. And then a lot of people were like, oh, that's cool. And a lot of people are like, oh, belly-weighted swim hooks exist. Shut up and go away. And I was like, all right, cool. So, I would love to compare the two. I would love to see what the fall is like on a belly-weighted hook versus the Ozark rig. And why not? Let's see if we can validate it or invalidate it. Why not? That's what we're here to do anyways. So haven't tried it yet. We'll get to it. Next that we had on our list was hover strolling. We already kind of talked about that. So just throwing it out there again, Core Tackle makes the hover rig, and then actual like true hover strolling stuff. You can finagle your own setup, or you can get the JDM supplies. I just picked up a bunch, and Paul picked up a bunch this winter from Bait Finesse Empire. So if you want to check them out, it's a great option. It's a really cool style. Go look at RAR Fishing. We had him on our show a couple weeks ago, RAWR Fishing. The dude teaches us how to hover stroll. So I'm not going to pretend to know more than RAR Fishing does. Just go watch RAR's videos. He does tons of rigging videos as well. So definitely subscribe to that. Good call. Thanks for adding that. Nicholas Hubert called it out. Micro A-rig. Boy, did we throw that bad boy. And I was very mad that it didn't work. I think it just wasn't the day for it. No A-rigs did work. I threw 3 A-rigs on Saturday, 3 different sizes. I threw the new Hog Farmer ones from Tactical Bassin that we picked up. So we have the mini and the micro. I threw the mini, and then I also threw the BFS ones from our boy George DLC12 over on Instagram that we've been pushing people towards, and ran beautifully. Like that was one of the big things when you look at the thing, you're like, okay, this is gonna run the way it's supposed to run. Yes, it did. And also George Jorge is his actual name. He's been listening to feedback, and he actually downsized a lot of his hardware on some of the newer stuff that he's putting out, which is great. So for anybody who saw those BFS A rigs that we were talking about, comparing in size to those tactical Bassin ones, he's improved them even more. So I cannot recommend them enough. I use the older version of them with the not microscopic hardware. And the only issue I ran into is sometimes, and usually it was always user error, but basically bring it up out of the water and then I go cast without checking it. That hardware can get hung up on each other. So you could have that issue with the downsize hardware. You're not going to have it at all. And it was not a big deal. But when I was running it through the water, man, that thing, it ran like a dream. It runs so we put donkey tail juniors and mule jigs on that thing. Money, absolute money. I cannot wait when we get fish actually moving around, because we didn't see any of the fish that we could. It's not like we were seeing them. They were just down deep enough that we couldn't see them, but we were catching them, right? So we get to that point, we can take care of business. All right, we got Cameron Sharp here. Welcome to some level of membership. I don't know why YouTube's not telling me which level of membership it is, but welcome. Happy to have you, Cameron. Thank you. Love that. And yeah, totally get it, Joseph. A-rigs are not legal everywhere, and they can work in a lot of places, but you can only have like 1 hook or 3 hooks or 5 hooks. So as we've said in any A-rig video that we do, pay attention to local laws and, be a good person. All right. Next up we got on our list is the blade bait, the chatter bait, the bladed
Well, and the
not
next
that.
one's basically the same
That's
thing. It's
later
a
down.
lipless. So
Yep.
the blade blade's just like a metal,
Yep.
like a metal lipless crankbait, basically.
So a metal version, hollow body version, right?
Loud,
Like
one knocker, whatever.
yeah.
I mean, the nice thing about a blade bait, you if you do the same thing as a tail spin, you'll still catch fish. If you drag it on the bottom, you'll catch sticks and fish. And then there's kind of like a lipless. There's literally no wrong way to do it. It's probably one of the most versatile things out there because you can burn it. And I mean, as fast as possible, catch fish. Drag it, catch fish. Yo-yo, catch fish. Pendulum, catch fish. Steady retrieve, catch. It doesn't matter. You just do the thing.
Yeah, somebody mentioned the 10,000 fish Death Stalker, which is like a blade bait meets a tailspin.
Yep.
It's the best way I can describe it as a hybrid. I've caught decent numbers of fish on those. Pretty great option too, and they're not too expensive. You can usually get a deal on Carl's Bait and Tackle. So yeah, love that. So blade bait, lipless, throw those right now. Burn it over grass, yo-yo it, let it just fall all the way to the bottom, and then just rip it up and let it fall.
No wrong way.
Rinse and repeat forever. You're gonna catch something. Then we get to bladed jig, which is what I just mixed up with the blade bait.
But this one, to me,
it's almost
2 weeks away, 3 weeks away.
Yeah, if you guys are down south, you can throw this right now. Like if our water temp goes up like 8 degrees, I'm gonna be throwing this thing.
50s, it's go time. I will say, someone asked about the Willow Vibe, same thing. Probably 55-degree water and up, you're golden.
It's just like a finesse bladed jig, and it's money. Definitely works. One option that you could have that goes with, to me, like drop shot boring, but absolutely effective is a Carolina rig. So if you haven't thrown one, get into that. Throw some mono filament line on there, so you got like a little float to it, and you're just going to have that real slow descent with your plastic, depending on what you rig up. If you rig a Z-Man, they're buoyant, right? So it might float a little bit more, but you're staying in a strike zone. That's something that came up on a lot of these baits. Like if you can stay in the strike zone right now, you're going to catch fish. Hands down. That's just how it works, right? Go near structure, near cover, near drop off, near a grass line, and just let it sit there. Run that suspending jerk bait. Whatever you're throwing, you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna catch some fish. I think that's a pretty good amount of baits. I think it's everything that we covered in that video that we're also dropping, I believe, next Friday. So good stuff. Go catch some fish. Gosh dang it. Do you want to cover this part or jump into new gear or just roll on? Where are we at?
We've done most of the new gear already.
I think we did. Covered the kayaks, covered the new rods, new reels. So stay tuned for a whole bunch of reviews coming your way this time of year, you guys. We are excited to do them. We're excited to do the kayak build outs too. We had to wait because we're still waiting on one, my Titan X, and then two other like parts. But we've got parts from our guy over at Navarre. So we're going to do some Old Town kayak upgrades. We got a Bixby motor that we're going to put on two Old Towns. We're going to flip them back and forth, check out a few different ways that you could rig up a Bixby motor. And then obviously put it to the test, do a speed test, do a like all day run test, that kind of stuff, and see how that goes. Lots and lots of stuff coming on kayaks and gear in the coming months here. So Joseph Gwynn says, I heard Catchco is going out of business. Maybe. I
heard they
did
were
not hear
having
that.
financial issues and they couldn't find donor money, but I never heard anything more than that.
That would be such like a Hindenburg crash and burn situation if they did. They went so peak and then to crash down. Man, I mean, it's not that it doesn't happen, obviously, but that'd be kind of weird. Oh well. Also, it doesn't affect me at all. So catch go. Whatever.
Okay.
Good.
Sorry, Dizzle.
They filed bankruptcy doesn't mean they're gone though. Like if they filed
Oh.
bankruptcy, they could bounce back.
And they could be bought out.
Yeah, also that. So they could get acquired. Maybe it changes. Good, bad.
We're having trouble with that, so I don't know. Be tough. The financials must not be good. When
There's been so many acquisitions lately, like a lot of stuff.
yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna buy that company, knowing that there's the financials are, or you won't buy that company, and the financials must be really bad. If they were trying to sell,
yeah, if they couldn't find anybody to do that.
Well, if the debt's that bad, you never know.
Yeah. I don't know. On that note, are there any hot topics that you guys want us to talk about? Because we can throw them into a podcast or a vlog video.
A vlog?
We're looking to that. So one vlog that we do have coming up, because it's a hot topic right now, is forward-facing sonar. We did a fun little video on forward-facing sonar baits. Like, are they legit or not? And we're gonna I put that to the test too. So it's not just gonna be like, blowing smoke up your butt. Like we're just gonna go out there and actually do the thing with a few specific, according to the websites and the Berkeley science, forward-facing baits. We're gonna get the Credge. We're gonna get the Finisher. We're gonna, do. We have the forward-facing sonar minnow from Yum and their ball head jig to pair up with that. And I want to see if it's like it really is that effective. And I think that was one of the hot topics on forward-facing sonar recently too, where people were like, "Oh, everybody's just fishing that like flat side minnow on a ball head jig on a forward-facing sonar, just doing this thing, right?" And like they're not, they're catching on everything that they normally were catching on. They're just reading the fish better. that's what's happening. So we could definitely talk to that. I think it could be fun. What else? Yeah, we got. I mean, I'm not going to talk about bankruptcy companies. I don't think we'd spend too much time on that.
Do people? I want to do a vote.
Oh, let's do a vote.
I want to do a vote. Chaz,
we're gonna make sure Chaz
is
ready for a vote. Chaz, are you asleep?
Oh, no. Was there? What?
Oh, I don't know where Chaz is.
That was you that said no? Boo.
Wait, who said no?
I thought you said no.
No, I didn't. I would do a vote. I just don't know where Chaz is because he has to put in the vote.
Can I do it?
Chaz is there. He says, yeah, we can. All right, Chaz. Is this a forward-facing sonar vote?
I want to vote. Do you guys think forward-facing sonar should be banned from tournaments or not?
And this will determine if we need to do a vlog on this. Not like we use it. Paul just picked up a Humminbird. He's got the Mega
you
Live.
guys. I just got a Humminbird set up with Mega Live. It's a 10-inch, so it's like an exact, in my opinion, comparison to the Garmin. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this. I will probably be one of like, I'll say 500 people max that have tried Garmin and like the modern version of Garmin forward facing and something else.
Most people stick with one brand forever with that because they end up with the components.
Yeah, they even get it.
Yep.
How many people out there are like, "Oh, I got the Garmin, I switched over and went something." It's probably a very low percentage of people.
I will too, because I'm going to steal your boat and use it.
You see what I'm saying though? Like, how many people do you think have even tried multiple?
I don't know.
Not
I
that
would
many.
love to see the differences between the two. So vote is up right now in chat. If you guys are in chat, I see 173 of you guys watching. So if you're on YouTube in chat, you can live vote right now. Should forward-facing sonar be banned from tournaments? This is the hot topic of the times, you guys. And you know, there some young bucks came on into the bass tourney scene, and they're just crushing it because they get that technology, and they've grown up on YouTube and they're strategizing really well.
I'm
So
just curious about.
if we don't have
Think of it
forward-facing
this way.
sonar, but we
Well,
get to have sonar, how
like
far can it go?
like how is forward facing sonar? To me, I feel like forward facing is less of an advantage than when Garmin first released sonar. Like I
Why?
feel like getting Garmin from nothing is 10 times bigger than live from regular view.
Well, from nothing, but I mean,
From
we're talking about
having
the
nothing,
tournament scene though. Like
but
these guys have been using electronics
that's what I'm
forever
but I guess I'm saying like how is getting forward facing different than like when you got electronics the first time
because
in a
it's
tournament?
live.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's the same thing. Why is this
So
cheating now?
my thought is this. It's like, okay, so let's
Mhm.
just say in a dystopian future that we banned forward-facing sonar, right? She gone. She done. All right. If we don't have that, we still have the ability to have downscan, side imaging. How far can that advance before it now is just in the same boat as like ban it, right? Like, because it's gonna get better. If they can't use forward-facing sonar, they're gonna put all of their time, energy, and effort into improving side
Well,
scans
and it's
and
funny you
down
say
scans.
that. The Sinistral was like watching guys stare at a TV screen is boring. That's what they're doing now.
Watching guys
They're
fish is
doing the
boring.
same exact thing. It's not it's just what? They literally doing the same thing with whether it's live or not. They're looking at their electronics the
They
whole
need
time.
to all wear chesties. That's what I need. They need
I just
chest GoPros and that are live fed. I don't know how to improve it, honestly, you guys. The funny comparison posts that I've been seeing are like guy looking at forward facing sonar, looking at a TV screen, guy looking
Mhm.
at water, and it's like very similar. No, I mean everybody's got their opinion on it. I hear you. I totally get it.
It's 45, 55. 55 are carrying it with the nose.
It's pretty close, but we're saying no to banning it,
Wow.
which it somewhat mirrors like what I see on social media, just in the
This is
comment
crazy.
sections of videos and things like that. So I don't know. Maybe we do a podcast on this. Who could we get on the show that would be pro and anti? We need one pro and one anti, and then we will
Well,
moderate.
punch,
Punches
pro,
pro. Yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. So who do we know that's anti that has a channel? I know a lot of antis in the comments, but I don't know how many of them have channels. So I don't know. If we could find somebody who's like anti forward facing sonar, that could be a fun show.
Who is?
I don't know, man.
Like
Like,
who is?
plenty of people say don't
I'm
do
not
it.
getting Randy.
Randy
I'm
is
not gonna
not coming on the show, you guys. No, thank you.
no sir.
Ben and Randy on the show.
Everyone wants it. I want it.
Everybody, if we could even pull that, you guys, Ben
If I
Milliken
could
will
pull
never
half
talk
that.
to us. Yeah, Ben is not going to talk to us. Randy probably wouldn't even talk to us. So don't even think about it. But yeah,
Well,
that's
next
not.
time I see him, I'll ask.
I want to see him in the streets. So we're at
I'm a
85 votes.
hustler, baby. So, anyways, do you want to hop on a podcast with Randy?
No. All right. So we're at 56% say no, 44% say yes. It's 86 votes in. I think that's the verdict for this episode. So let's go ahead and we'll pull that, Shaz. Very interesting how tight that is. That is tighter than like 90% of the polls that we run on this channel. So I think it's a hot topic. I think we got to talk about it. We're going to start by doing the forward-facing sonar lures video. You guys will see that this Friday, Paul. We're doing that?
Yeah.
This Friday. And then later on, maybe we do a video diving deeper into the topic. I don't know. It is very interesting. And it so closely mirrors like performance enhancing drugs in sports. Like to me. That is like the exact thing to me, how it goes.
What?
Get
So I'm
Blocket. We're
curious.
not
So
getting Blocket.
Brando Calrissian, best name I've ever seen on this app. Sorry to
100%.
Burley. You're saying you don't like forward-facing sonar. Like, why?
I'll come on the show. Yeah, I would love to know why. There's
I'm
going to
just
be a
curious.
prerequisite. You
Not in
have
like
to
a.
have.
I'm not gonna like fight you. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, it's not an argument from us to you, man. But if you're going to come on the show about it, like you got to have a platform, right? So, what is your platform that you're standing on, screaming to the mountains that forward-facing sonar is
Brando, maybe he's ready. I'm curious.
Yeah,
Brando Calrissian, he came in with the name so like astronomically strong.
because I
like
can't afford it. That is not a platform. Because I can't afford
no.
it is not a platform. Has never been a platform.
Well, I mean, I can't afford. Frankly, I can't afford.
There's a lot of things I can't
a
afford.
$20,000 trolling motor setup. I mean, I
But
can't.
I'm not anti.
I'm not anti-trolling motors. I'm
the power pole setup or the new Garmin.
no.
You know,
I mean, it's if you can afford it. I mean, yeah, go. Why not? I don't know.
I
Maybe you
can't
can have
afford
all robot fishing lures. Maybe you're that rich. I don't know.
robot fishing lures are terrible. We all know that.
If I had 80 of them, I could catch a bass.
Who did you know who just made a swim bait, a glide bait? Go Mexis.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Out of where and why?
I
And
don't
it's
know,
like
man.
all metal, and like their advertisement reminds me so much of Temu ads. Like not the ads, but like the little
Wait.
4 pictures that they posted about it. Like what the
So Junebug the angler what says I'm not against forward facing sonar,
heck?
but I could get it. I won't use it. Why?
Okay. But it's not that's not an anti forward facing sonar
Why?
platform. That's what we all have to recognize. Like you can not like things, and that doesn't create like a platform against that thing. You can't campaign against something just because you don't like it. Like you have to have a reason to not like it, or to say ban this from a sport, right? You have to have verifiable data
I don't.
that you can
So
use for it.
Tim Justice was like, how long will it take for prices to come down on forward facing sonar? Probably 10 years, but I don't think they're that high.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
frankly,
not cheap
but
for
neither is
what
the electronics. Like when you
for
compare
what
it to
you
the electronics,
get.
if you bought if you bought a Helix unit, it's still
Oh,
gonna cost
well, the Mega
1,500,
Live.
whether it's well, I'm just saying it only costs like $1,000.
Yes, in addition to the unit, right? So if you look at it as electronics, right? Like there is the head
You were gonna
unit,
have that.
the base unit, and those base units is where the cost is. The live is actually it's
A
negligible
quarter
in
of the
comparison.
cost of a screen?
Yeah. It's not as much as a lot of people think. If you have sonar already,
Well,
like as long as
Jared,
you have
I'm
a
not saying
compatible
only
unit.
$1,000 as in there's $1,000 not a lot of money. I'm saying only
Yeah.
$1,000 when in comparison to what it costs you just to get electronics. Because
Yeah.
quality electronics right now, $2,000 floor for like good quality,
High quality.
just
That's the
medium
Solix
quality electronics.
units.
Like
Yeah, the
that
Garmin
you're talking
UHDs.
$2,000
Mhm.
just for this head unit. That's a cheap one.
Yep.
3,500 easy for like again mid-range. So it's like adding $1,000. It doesn't seem like that much for the big leap that you get.
And then Bass and Basky, like I totally get this. For the casual angler, like I had such a blast with no sonar to deal with on Saturday. That said, I've also had such a blast when I've had forward facing sonar and I've found fish that I otherwise wouldn't have found. So, but then if you take it to a professional level, like they're pros, man. They're gonna use every tool that they can use at their disposal. And why wouldn't they? There's big money on the line, man. So I hear you. I mean, there's arguments to be made as long as it's not just like it's too expensive, right? Like that's not enough of an argument. But yeah, I hear you, Basky. On just having fun on the water. I like to have that change up every now and then where we go sans sonar, we jump in the canoe, we wade fish, we bank fish. You know, I can agree with that on my side of things for sure.
100%.
Cool. Some
So
interesting
you got,
stuff,
and
you guys.
just so you guys know, like all of this,
this exists. This is ice fishing.
Like, yeah, this is ice fishing.
Yeah, that exists.
Been doing it for years
Garmin and
and
Lawrence
years and
have
years
that.
and years. I've had an FL8 SE, which is the exact same thing for ice fishing.
Yeah.
Since 8 years, and they've been
Just
out for
no
50.
touchscreen, but yeah.
It's the same thing as sonar. It's
Vexillar,
identical.
baby.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Oh man. This is an interesting topic. And we are not bass pros. We
No.
are not bass boat users. But we do have forward-facing sonar on our kayaks, and we can talk to it from having used it and not used it. So I mean that could be interesting. So yeah. Oh, Jared doesn't have ice. No, I totally get you, man. I was just saying there are portable forward-facing units that do exist. Now
They're small.
they're marketed as ice units, but they're portable. So you totally could use that at the bank if you wanted
The
to.
biggest thing is the
Yeah.
screen.
Yep. You would just like
The
hold the
plastic
unit,
case is
point
the
it.
largest thing.
Yeah.
It's only like 3 pounds away from being like a handheld Garmin unit.
It's pretty insane. That said, they also have
Wild.
handheld water cameras. So I mean, you could have just straight up a camera down there too. Yep. Rick Clun says, "Let the whiners whine." Man, that guy has been competing for like 50 seasons or some nonsense. That's so absurd. So absurd. All right. Well, I think we talked this topic to death for tonight, and I got an early flight in the morning, so I think we call it for tonight. Let's do a slow rolling thunder roll out of here. You good with that, Paul?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So these were some fun ones again from the road trip. So first one I gotta throw at you in chat. I want you guys to play along with this. If you had to give up one confidence lure color, it's a color of a lure, you got to give it up for the rest of your life, what would that color be?
Pattern or color?
Color. We didn't do pattern. No patterns right now. Just straight
I
up
would give up purple.
color. Wow.
I know.
It hurt me to hear that.
It doesn't feel
Actually,
good. I know. I was like,
oh no,
yeah.
purple.
Well, I'm not giving up.
You're not giving up orange or chartreuse. Like,
I'm
ain't
not
no
giving up
way.
chartreuse. I'm not giving up white. I might be able to give up black,
No way.
but I can't. But pearl can be replaced. Like purple can be replaced with blue.
Yeah.
I don't like it as much. It doesn't feel good, but I can do without blue much more easily than orange, green pumpkin, white, chartreuse, right?
Yeah. You got me on that. I'm with you on purple. I could see blue working just as fine. I'm never giving up chartreuse, orange, white, black even. Like I love
it doesn't like frogs.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Purple, it hurts me, but I could give up purple.
You guys are giving up pearl? You guys are giving up pearl?
A lot of people are giving up pearl for sure, they say.
Oh my god.
Wow. All right. Well,
dude.
Everybody has confidence.
A lot of black and blue. People are like, oh wow, Brando coming in hot again. He says, green pumpkin, get out of here. Bold man. I love it. Way to go, Brando.
You guys got all the hot takes. I love it. All right.
That was great.
You guys are awesome. Let's go. Worst. No. We'll do this other one. One more and we'll roll out here. So on the same note, same kind of thought process here. You got to give up one category of lures. I'll say confidence lures. One category of confidence lures that you got to give up. What would it be? It's tough.
I'm trying to be fair. I'm not going to give like a second tier. It's going to be.
I have an idea that you're going to hate. You ready for this?
You're going to say jerkbait, aren't you?
No.
Okay, good.
Absolutely not. But what I'm going to say is going to hurt you almost as much.
Ned rig.
No.
What?
Spinnerbait.
I was going to say it, but I put it in tier 2. I
It's
don't put
so
that
close,
as tier
right?
1. Yeah.
Chaz said it. I say spinnerbait because bladed jigs, tail spins, underspins.
I know.
Can you imagine not ever using a spinnerbait again?
I can, because you know what? I went 2-3 years without throwing a Texas rig at all.
Sure. Yeah.
Didn't miss it for a second.
Yeah. I see a lot of
square
crankbaits
bill.
in
That
here.
would hurt. I would have done that. Square bill's dropped for me lately.
You would drop a square bill? What was your answer? So square bill?
Well, square bill would fall under all crankbaits, I think. So no.
Okay. So what category of baits would you get?
Ned rig.
Ned rig. Okay. And that's totally fair. I think that was close with me too. Because
it can be supplanted by other things.
it could be replaced by plenty of other things.
Yeah.
Unless we were like, well, earlier in the show, you said technically that's a jig.
Yeah.
I could call your bluff.
I don't know.
Give up
I
all
don't know.
jigs?
No, fuck. No.
Never.
Never.
Never. Not happening.
No.
Oh, man. Yeah. Spinnerbait. Oh, Tree Hunter says spinnerbait greater than a chatterbait. Oof. Them are fighting
Disagree.
words.
That's why I could get rid of the spinnerbaits, because
That's
the
why
chatterbait,
I
in my
said
opinion.
it. Oh, that was fun. All right, you guys, we had a blast tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We look forward to this every single week, and we will be back again next week. I'm only going to Mexico until Monday, so we'll have a show again next week. Maybe we start diving into forward-facing sonar, the hottest topic of the bass fishing industry right now. I don't know. We'll talk about something fun. We'll have some fun with that. Thank you guys so much for those of you who supported us with the Autism Anglers Drive. I just wanted one more shout out. This will be the last one for a little while, but you guys did so good. We raised $2,800. I can't believe it. Love you guys. We're going to pack up all those envelopes of baits. Rest assured, I like to think that we're up on a pedestal as far as people who do giveaways. We ship our stuff out on time, baby. So we're going to pack those bags up. We got 32 things to ship out, plus 2 for our members only. We're going to be doing that next week. So again, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. We'll catch you all next week. Chaz, take us out.